We're going to be continuing with algebra and looking at solving equations, but this time our equations are going to be involving fractions. So let's look at a first example. So we're being asked to solve the following equation. So we've got half x plus 1 equals 5. The very first thing that we're going to do is we must remove the fraction. So we're going to get rid of the fraction in our equation. And to do this, we are going to multiply every term on both sides by 2. So because we have a half, if we multiply a half by 2, we get 1. So we're aiming to reduce these fractions down to 1. And if we multiply a half by 2, we will get 1. And we must remember to multiply every term by 2. So we're going to multiply a half x by 2, we're also going to multiply 1 by 2, and then we're going to multiply 5 by 2. So every single term in your equation, you're multiplying everything by 2. So first step, multiply by 2 to get x plus 1 equals 10. No, sorry, x plus 2 equals 10. So we've multiplied every single term by 2. Now we can go ahead and use our previous skills of solving these equations. So we've got x plus 2 equals 10. So how do we get x on its own? Well, we've got this plus 2 here that we don't want. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. Remember, solving equations, we need to balance the equation out. Whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we're going to subtract 2 to get x equals 8. So the very first step, we need to remove our fractions and we need to try and reduce the fractions down to 1. So if you copy this example down, and once you have done that, I'm going to get you to try one on your own. So if you pause here and try this question using the example to help you think about each step. So pause here and give this question a go. Okay, hopefully you've unpaused and we can go through the answer. So our first step is to remove our fraction. So we've got a third here and we're trying to make a third equal 1. So what do we times a third by to get 1? Well, we have to times it by 3. So we're going to times every single term by 3, so on both sides. So we're going to times a third x by 3 just to get 1x, or just x as we wanted. Then a 2 times 3 give us 6. Then 4 times 3 gives us 12. You must remember to times every single term. And once we've got to this, how do we get x on its own? Well, we need to take away 6 from both sides to give us x equals 6. So really well done if you got that one correct. Okay, let's look at a second example. So this time, previously we had 1 as our numerator of our fraction, but this time we've got a number greater than 1. Let's see what happens here. So again, our very first step, we are going to remove the fractions. So we've got 2 over 3 x subtract 2 equals 8. So we are wanting to get rid of our fraction. This essentially means 2 divided by 3. Okay, we're trying to get this just down to a whole number. So if we multiply by what is on the bottom of our fraction, okay, so this time we're going to multiply every term on both sides by 3. So let's see what happens when we do this. So 2 over 3 times x, 2 over 3x times 3 will give us just 2x. Okay, so if you're doing 2/3 times 3, you're essentially left with what is on the top. To give us 2x, subtract 2 times 3 is 6, equals 24. So we've times every single term by 3. Once we've done that, we're just going to use our previous skills of solving equations. So we're trying to get the x on its own. The 2 is stuck to it just now, so we're going to leave that be. But we've got a minus 6 here that's stopping us, so we need to add 6 to both sides. Okay, to give us 2x equals 30. Again, what's stopping us from having x on its own? Well, we've got to multiply by 2, so we need to essentially do the opposite, which is divide by 2. So we're going to divide both sides by 2 to give us x equals 15. So again, important steps, removing fractions to start with. You are going to multiply by what is on the bottom of the fraction, and you will be left with what is on the top. And you must remember to multiply, when you're multiplying through, every single term by that number. So if you copy that example down, and then I will ask you to try one. Okay, so pause the video here and follow very similar steps to try and solve this equation. Okay, let's go over the answer. Hopefully you have given that a go. So we're going to multiply by 5 to get rid of our fraction. So multiply every single term by 5 to give us 4x, subtract 15 equals 25. And once we've done that, just using our previous skills of solving equations, we need to get 4x on its own to start with. So we've got to subtract 15. So to get rid of that, we're going to add 15 to both sides. And then we'll be left with 4x equals 40. And then to get x on its own, we've got 4 times x, so we need to divide by 4 to get x equals 10. So that one was definitely a bit trickier, so well done if you got that. Right, third and final example for equations with fractions. This time we have 2 fractions, and we still need to first get rid of the fraction, or fractions in this case. So this time we are going to be multiplying through both sides by the lowest common multiple of our denominators. So our denominators here are 4 and 2. So what we want to do is think about the lowest common multiple of 4 and 2. Well, in this case it is 4. So we're going to be multiplying each side, well, every term on both sides by 4. So once we do that, we will get, so 3 over 4x times 4 will just leave us with 3x. Then minus 3x times 4 will give us minus 12. A half x times 4 will give us 2x. Just think of it as 1 times 4 give us 4, and then divide it by 2 to give us 2x plus 4. And once we've done that, we're just going to apply our previous skills of solving equations. So to get all the x terms on one side and all the number terms on the other. So the first step we're going to take is remove this 2x from the right hand side by subtracting 2x from both sides. So subtract 2x to give us x minus 12 equals 4. Then we need to get x on its own. So we want to get rid of this negative 12 by adding 12 to both sides. And once we've done that, our answer is x equals 16. So again, if you can copy this example down with all the steps, and once you've done that, I'll give you one to try. Okay, so if you pause here and give this one a try, with your fraction 5 over 6 and 2 over 3, you want to get rid of your fractions first by multiplying through by the lowest common denominator, the lowest common multiple of 6 and 3. So pause here and give this one a try. We're going to multiply each term by 6. So 5 over 6x times 6 gives you 5x. Minus 3 times 6 gives you minus 18. 2 over 3x times 6 gives you 4, because 2 times 6 is 12, then divide it by 3 to give you 4, and then plus 1 times 6 to give you plus 6. So that is the step we've taken to get rid of the fraction. And now we're just going to use our standard skills of solving these equations. So we'll bring everything with an x over to one side. So we're first going to start by getting rid of this 4x, and to leave you with x subtract 18 equals 6. Then we're going to get rid of this minus 18 by adding 18 to both sides, and your final answer should be x equals 24. Like I said, this example was really tricky, so well done if you got that one. Good work.